Hello, you look like a school teacher.
Hello.
Until I see the
like
Adidas logo, and then you're like, no,
I
not
feel
so
like my
much.
mum with these glasses
What are your
on.
glasses on?
I know, but I'm
You look
honestly
good with glasses on.
I know I don't feel. I feel like I look like my mum, but not
I
my
didn't.
mum's look good, but like I just feel older.
I've never seen you in glasses. I don't think.
I've wore these loads.
Have you? Didn't know
Yeah,
you wore them.
loads.
You look good in them. You should wear them.
Just shows how little you.
Oh, stop it! You're such a get the little violin out. It shows how
It
much you don't
is.
care.
I wear them all the time. It's to protect. It's the blue screen
I
things.
love how you say how much I pay attention. I'm going to literally say to you, I have a Gandalf statue on my desk.
Yeah.
You know where that from?
Me?
Yeah, okay, good. Because I didn't know. The reason I say that is I showed you a photo of it a couple of months ago, and I went, "Oh, look!" And you went, "Yay, great Gandalf thing." And I thought, you do realize you bought me it.
I know. Saying yay, like you're using it.
Oh, cool. I was at the time. I was going to say not making notice. I was afraid. I was like, I think she thinks I've bought it.
No, I just meant yay, like it's actually still there. Like
yeah, of course he is. He's stuck on the. He's stuck on the floor. Yeah, he's stuck on the floor. He's stuck on the side of the desk. He's like right there. Like he's right there. But my son likes to hit his head. He likes to bop his head because it's a bobblehead. I think it's very funny. I don't know where on that, but I was going to. But obviously, I was wrong. I thought that you didn't realize, and I was like,
I don't forget. Elephants never forget. I always remember everything.
Oh, I love it. So, what are we talking about today?
Right. So, want to talk about the difference between, I suppose, using common sense with clients and budget versus trying to treat everyone the same, because they're not.
Okay.
Right. So I've had this a couple of times where people are like, how do you position like costing for clients, and what do you go in at as their like first option? And the easiest one I can explain it with, and the most difficult one to try and do, in my opinion, is income protection. Right. So if a client wants income protection, it's in my opinion, it's the most complicated product to sell unless you break it down. Right. And I'm a big believer that clients need to understand what it is they're paying for and what the options are available. So say, for example, you took the stance of you should always go in at like the top and then work backwards, or like go in at like the most cover available because that's protecting the client the best, which yes, is true. It's if you go in at, let's say, non-age escalating, so it's age guaranteed, it's not going to change on price. They're going to pay them until they retire. It's going to kick in after 4 weeks. It's going to give them 60 to 70% of their income. That's the gold version package, isn't it? Like, if everyone had the affordability, that's what you'd have. Like, that's it. That's the dream. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, some people will go in and say, go in at the dream, and that's what you should go at and work backwards. Now, for me, I don't agree, because that means that if they can't afford that, by the time they get to what they can afford, it's shit. In the way to bring, you've gone from, it's not going to go up in price, it's staying this cost, and it's going to pay out after 4 weeks, and it's giving you the full amount of the protection available, and it's going to pay you till you retire, to we've now got 50% of your income, it's kicking in after 12 months, and you're going to be paid for 12 like months consecutively. Like, you could have had this, but look what you've got instead. Like, basically, I'm going to sell you a Range Rover, but you're actually going to leave with a Vauxhall Corsa. Like, that is like how I would see it. So what I prefer to do is, one, use your common sense and use your brain, right? If you're speaking to a client who's a multi-millionaire or says to you, I don't have an issue on cost, I want to have the best protection available, then yes, you're not going to bother with, do you want the age-related premium for 1 year? Because that's not going to give them what they want. So you would go in, this is the best option available, this, and for this reasons. But say you've got a client who is going to have a budget, or they've got the main priority is, what can I have within my budget? Yeah. Then I believe the best way to do that is to give them clarity and options. So
hey, you all right?
Megan's just decided to answer the phone live. Are you winding me up, you?
Your face. You got this thing of you cannot hide your face. I love it, the way you're just like.
I can't. I can't handle. She's just answered the phone in the middle of this.
Well, is this a client phone call or just a personal phone call?
2 seconds. Right, so have you
2 seconds, she's saying to me.
She's saying to you.
No, I think it's all right. She'll talk. She's just got the loudest voice ever as well.
Well, she was super quiet when we were talking before,
She
as in like
bellows.
here. She's really quiet, and then all of a sudden it's like,
She's-
hello.
Anyway, so you'd go in with this is the first option, second option, third option, like break it down like that. That's what I would prefer to do, because I think then that gives the client one, more clarity on what's available, and two, they can decide what they see the value in, whether they think it's worth paying. You know, sometimes you're talking about, like I had one last night, I think it was like £1,500 a month.
Yeah.
And it kicked in after we either wanted to start after 4 weeks. And I think for age related, so when it was going up every month, it was going to be £28. The cheapest one with non-age related, so the price never changed, was £79.
Wow.
Like that, that's a massive
Big jump.
50 quid a month. Like if that client's saying, I don't want to spend more than £50-60 ideally, I can't justify giving them that when they want critical illness and they want life insurance. Like, no, you can't. I can't do that. I can tell him, and I did. I could say to them, look, this is the option. These are your price. This is what you can get. This or this. And every single one of them, if the price is that dramatic, will say, no, I'll have that one. I'll have that one, because who can? Not many people can afford that. If I was dealing with rich people every single day, then sound. We'll get you the £80 a month one, because that's not a problem. But 9 times out of 10, my clients are people who are trying to not make ends meet, but the realistic. Do you know what I mean?
Like everyday people, aren't they?
Yeah,
It's the everyday people.
Watching what they're spending and wanting to make sure they're getting the best value for money. And are you finished now, Meg? Yeah. You finished?
Yeah. Love that. Yeah.
Who was it? Tell it's my client as well. Cheeky ass. Right, so like if you've got a client who doesn't have a budget, sound like you just go in at the best gold package, and then you go, and I always still believe you'd still say, but you can have this, you can have it cheaper, because they have a right to know. Like that's why they're speaking to you, is because you know the options. They don't. They're trusting. I just feel like they put a lot of trust in you, being saying like, what do you think? I don't think it's fair to be like, this is the best one, and then work backwards. I think you should go in at this.
Has that come from as well with that? Do you think that comes from a real world approach potentially? Is that like you're looking at it as like these, because I do think, like as you say, most people can't. Like insurance can get very expensive if you're going for everything. Very expensive very quickly.
But if you've got the money, Ash, like
you might not want to spend that.
I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to. I don't have age guaranteed premiums till 68. I don't have that. Like I've got age escalating one, because for me, I'd have to be 40 odd year old before that becomes cost effective. Yeah. So, but everyone's different, and you're
probably going to rebroke that at some point anyway. Yeah,
like you're going to.
It's like us. It's like you did my insurance, and me and you, that will be rebroked within the next 12 months most likely, because situations change, things change, life changes.
Like 3 years ago when I did my own, I was in a different mortgage, so my cost per month of what I needed to cover my bills was a lot lower than it is now. So I need to redo it, and then you'll get arguments from people, and there's no right or wrong. Please don't think I'm saying like someone who does it the other way is wrong, because they're not. It's an opinion. It's just that you have to understand that your opinion, for me, you need to give the client the reasoning behind that. You need to explain that to them. You can't just go in and say, this is what you're getting. So like, I don't know, the other people might say, well, if you're on age-related premiums, what if the client has a health risk? Then if they try to rebroke it further down the line, it's going to be more money. Absolutely 100% correct. And I tell my clients that. I say, the only downside of age-related versus age guaranteed is, yes, we can review and yes, we can amend. But if you have a health change or if something goes wrong, or, you've got a diagnosis that prevents you from getting insurance in the future or will affect your premiums, you may be paying more or not be able to swap. Yeah. And clients have the option to say, no, actually, I want that. But when you're talking about £40-50 a month more,
it's a significant
9 times out of 10, they're going to say, no, I'd rather have that one. I'd rather have that.
It is a significant amount of money though. Like £40-50 a month is
Oh, huge!
Yeah.
But then I had one last week where the price difference was only something like £5.50, and I was like, "Look, the difference is this. It's never going to change. It's up to you." And they say, "Like, what do you think?" And I said, "Well, personally, if it was me, I'd have the one that was guaranteed because I know that it's never going to change. And for £5.50, I think that's a better value for money."
Yeah.
But it's all down to opinion. Like the way I would do my own insurance would be very different to the way someone else would do their own insurance.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm a bit of a obsessive freak about telling the clients what's available, not rushing it. Sometimes when you are, especially with income protection, can take half an hour to go through that product with them because there is so many options. But then your client's leaving fully informed, knows exactly what they're paying for, has full control and autonomy over why they've got it and what it covers, and they've decided that. It's not my job to tell them. Like, my job's to give them the options. So I think when you go in and start at the top and work your way backwards, you're basically just setting them up to be like, right, this is what I want you to get because it's this, and this. Can't afford that. You're either going to lose them completely and they're not going to have any cover at all, or they're going to leave feeling like what they've got's not that great.
I've obviously been an advisor and relate to it. I also relate to it similar to when I work with them, they'll ask like what equipment should they buy? Like microphones, cameras. And I very rarely, in fact, I've never gone, this is what I have because there is a gold standard and it's like 12 grand.
Yeah.
And what I actually do is I go like I go from the bottom up. I'm like, so this webcam's really good and it's like 70 quid because it's not my decision to say. What I also don't, when I think about that, what I don't want is to show them, my camera's £1,200, £1,500, but you can buy this shitty webcam that's this much. Yeah. I don't want that. I want them to be like, this webcam is a massive upgrade to what you currently have. Really good. And then they're like, wow, great.
Yeah, you would do that. So like if that was me doing a webcam, I'd go, right, so there's different options available. You've got this one, which is about 70 quid. It's really good. It's going to do the job and it's going to make you know if you're going to use it. And I'm just saying,
this is what I have at the end. I'll just go, but if what I actually have is this.
This one, yeah. But then if you do use it all the time and you're doing what you say you're going to do, then you could invest further down the line with this because this is a better model. But I wouldn't suggest you do that at the beginning because you don't really know if you're going to use it to get the value from it. Like, it's just common sense. And I think to go in treating a client like they're going to nod, unless they've got no budget whatsoever, not many clients are going to nod to the top package of everything. They're not. And anyone who thinks they do, they're not dealing with the clients I'm dealing with, because I'm dealing with people who have got, kids, living crisis, mortgages, worrying about how they're going to be able to afford to go on holiday that year.
It seems to be why I would say as well. I mean, I had this discussion with somebody yesterday or a couple of days ago about this, and it seems to be they're saying about insurance is what people are concerned with the people cancelling, but it would probably be the system that you're doing and the way you're approaching it means you're never overloading somebody with stuff they can't afford. So you're probably not having the cancellations in the same way.
And I think that's when I get asked that, like, are you having loads of, I've had that quite a lot recently. Have you had loads of cancellations?
Because a lot of people are.
No, I'm not. Because what I've done what I've give the client is fully within their affordability. And when people go every single call, I get it, and I feel like plastering it across the front of my screen. What's the average? There is no average. And any advisor who's telling a client.
People always ask, what's the average?
On average, people spend. Again, you're not doing your job right because that is a load of crap. There's no average. And if there is, you've got a very different audience to me because I don't have one average. If
you've got an average, you're working with a very specific audience. I can imagine. If you're very niche, then I can imagine if you're, so the thing with you're dealing with you're like a proper broad, like everyday people. I guess if you're dealing with a niche that's like super specific, let's say you, like me working with financial advisors, like there is a very much like averagely people would do this, this, and this. But if I was working with everybody and I started working with different businesses and different types, I can imagine, well, I know I've done it before. That stuff starts to very much quickly fall down. So there's very few people who are specializing.
Yeah, but when it comes to insurance though, Ash, it's the thing of the medical.
So because that throws everything out.
Even if you were in a niche, or even if you only dealt with business owners, for example, you only
only deal with business owners who had nothing wrong with their health conditions.
You're telling me that every single business owner's got no medical?
Or even if you specialize in cancer, someone like Heidi that you have who deals with lots of cancerous people with cancer, But cancer is a very broad thing, and the providers, depending on what cancer you have, when you had it, what changes everything.
So to me, when people go on average, I just say to them, I say to every client, look, if you've ever been told it's an average, it's a lie. It's not a thing. I said, I speak to 10 to 15 people a day, and not one of you has the same amount, because at the end of the day, it's about what you see value in paying for, firstly, and it's about what you can actually get due to your medical and your circumstances. And that's the main thing. Like their value, they might be able to afford £100 a month. Yeah. Could you get them, like, without, if I was one of those people, could I get my clients to spend more than they want to spend? 100%. 100%.
You're a good salesperson.
I know how I could do that, but I won't, because that's not what's right. And I know that's why people are getting cancellations, because they've gone in at this is the best available. You need this, told the client, and the client's looking going, I can't afford £120 a month. I can't afford to pay that. No. But when you've told the client and they've made the decision and they've said, no, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with spending £50 a month because I know it's giving me good protection. Are they more likely to cancel that, or the £120 one they don't really understand they've been told the best?
Well, I did with you, and it was £100. I gave you a budget. I said I want to spend £100. It was ages ago, right when we first met. And like you said, you just got me, and I've got great cover from what you got. But it was like 200 to the budget. Like, we've got loads of different things, and to the point where you actually got it below the budget, and they were like, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to reach the budget or not? And then you got other products that fit in as well with it. I think it's a good, because then for me, I just wanted to know I was spending £100 every month. I wanted to have, for me, it was like I'm happy. That's how much I'm happy to part from my income to spend. Yeah. Above that, I would, not that I don't see the value in it, but it would probably trigger anxiety in what could cost, as opposed to, now that's probably changed more now, but.
I know, and I don't know whether I've said this, I probably haven't. People who watch it probably say, shut up, Carly, you've said it a million times. But this genuinely works, and it's a really good example. And I say it all the time to clients. And from an advisory point of view, that's why I look at it this way. Like, I could afford to pay for the top Sky package with the boxing included. It's okay, you could watch all the boxing whenever he wanted, right? Am I shite paying £140 a month to Sky? It ain't happening. Not because I can't afford it, because I would see that coming out of my bank every month and it would wind me up, because I do not see the value in it. So instead, we have Netflix, we have Prime, and he buys the boxing when it's a decent enough match and I see value in the £25 for the night. But that's the same thing as on the insurance. Could all my clients spend £100 a month? Probably, yeah. But would they see the value in it and like seeing it come out of the bank? Probably not.
Oh, yeah.
That's
we
where
can be on order, though. It's the same thing. I know what you mean. And it's value is such a funny thing. You talk about it with that. Yesterday, you opened up Amazon and saw the Avatar movie come up. And I was like, I haven't seen it. And I thought, well, maybe. And then I opened it, I was like, nah, it's not worth 14 quid. And that's what it is. But it's funny. What I mean is, like, that is a value perception. Everybody's value. So as we talk about average and what it is, it's so different, because I just sat and I was like, well, I've got a toddler. No chance I'm getting through a 4-hour film. I'm broken. And I'm not paying 14 quid. Can you afford the 14 quid? Absolutely. But I've no chance. But to me, at that point, and so I think that sometimes people think what you can afford versus what you want to pay.
Yeah.
Is
and it's not, and that's the bit where
it's not logical.
You're going to get cancellations because you're not using common sense.
No, it's mad. And that's where you see people though saying this before. It's like, it's when they say, well, it only costs the price of a Costa coffee or this, and you're like, yeah, but people aren't going to give those things up. It's a different type. You're anchoring those prices to things that are, people say, just stop smoking or less cigarettes. You're like, no, it doesn't work that way. People, they see more value.
To tell them how to use their money. It's your job to show them what's available, and they can decide how to spend their money.
I like that. And that's probably where, and the reason why I want to say that as well is, as you said, there's lots of different ways of doing it, but you are very successful. So the thing I want to say about that is that people don't, there's lots of people who will say, like, well, there's only this way and you won't be successful if you do it that way. And actually, you are one of the most successful people as a small advisor who grew very fast. You're, as a one-man band advisor, you were the most successful at what you did in such a short amount of time. And this strategy, so it obviously works. People
definitely just work. And I genuinely don't get, touch wood, don't get many cancellations at all. And the only thing I can think is that I've never done it any other way. So like, there'll be lots of people watching this saying, that's not right, you should do this. And that's fine.
Loads, yeah.
You crack on doing that, but I'm doing it this way. And I guarantee there'll be lots of advisors who've been told to do it a certain way, and they'll listen to this and go, oh my God, that makes so much more sense. And it's so hard to do it that way. And I feel more comfortable. For me, treat clients I would like to be treated and give them the option. And then they will have less chance of cancelling because they know they've been given the opportunity to do it themselves. Like you are there to literally, or just the little car, take them to their destination. They need to decide where they're going.
Love it. Also, you treat people as you like to be treated drives me mad every time you say that. Because it's not the real way of saying it.
Whatever, I don't know.
Treat people as you'd like to be treated.
Oh, well, we're Northern. I'm sorry.
It's like when you put a post like, my mam,
Me, ma'am.
M-A-M.
Me, ma'am.
Are you excited to be a mam? And I always see it on your account and I'm like, it's mum. It's M-U-M. It's not M-O-M like American.
It depends on the person. It depends on the person. That's what I'm saying.
How they see value in the...
There's no average. Everyone perceives the way they see things their own way. Thank you very much. So,
and that's it. That's very true. Love it. Any parting words?
I've just said my parting words and you pissed all over it.